I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard. 50 regiments, including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where stars die and are reborn, where ancient Xenos empires rise and fall, the indomitable spirit of humanity endures, spearheaded by the might and discipline of the Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard, the hammers of the Emperor. A scene of countless worlds, each varied in climate, culture and capability, but unified under the banner of the Emperor. From the frozen tundras of Valhalla to the jungle worlds of Katachan, every planet contributes its sons and daughters to the unending defense of the human realm. And the Astra Militarum, a force of untold billions, harnesses this diverse potential, forging it into the hammer with which the Imperium strikes at its foes. Yet the Astra Militarum is more than just numbers. It is a testament to humanity. Unaltered by the genetic engineering of the Adeptus Astartes or the psychic might of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica, ordinary men and women stand as the bulwark against the Imperium's countless enemies. Armed with las guns and bayonets, backed by the roaring engines of Lehman Russ battle tanks and the thunderous barrages of Basilisk artillery, these soldiers hold the line where others might falter. Theirs is a story of courage, standing firm in the face of insurmountable odds, loyalty to their comrades, their commanders, and above all, the God Emperor of mankind. It is also worth noting the intricate web of logistics and command that binds the Astra Militarum together. From the Departamento Munitorum, overseeing vast armories and supply chains, to the tacticians of the Imperial High Command, the machinery that propels the Guard is as extensive as it is complex. Regimental traditions, planetary idiosyncrasies, and tactical doctrines blend and meld, creating a diverse and adaptable force. As we embark on this journey of understanding, we shall delve deeper into the histories, victories, and sacrifices of the Astra Militarum. They are not just soldiers, but a testament to humanity's indomitable will to survive, thrive, and reclaim the stars in the name of the Emperor. Theirs is the saga of the human spirit, writ large across the canvas of the galaxy. To truly fathom the origins and the bedrock upon which the Astra Militarum stands, one must venture back into the annals of time, to the tumultuous era of the Great Crusade. In those early days of the Imperium, as the Emperor of mankind set forth from Terra, his vision was clear: to unite the scattered children of humanity under a single glorious banner. The nascent Imperium needed an army, a force vast enough to conquer the galaxy. Thus, the foundations of what would become the Astra Militarum were laid. In the shadow of the transhuman Adeptus Astartes, the Legiones Astartes, the precursors of the Astra Militarum, fought. Often referred to as the Imperial Army, these early regiments were raised from every compliant world the Great Crusade touched. Though lacking the genetic enhancements of the Space Marines, these men and women brought their native skills, determination, and most importantly, an unyielding faith in the Emperor's vision. Yet, as is often the case in times of grand ambition, fractures emerged. The Horus Heresy, the most bitter and devastating civil war, saw brother turn against brother, world against world. The Imperial army was torn asunder, their loyalties tested and twisted by the War Master Horus and his traitorous allies. The horrors of this internecine conflict are tales in and of themselves, but it is essential to understand that the seeds of the Astra Militarum's creation lay in this great betrayal. Following the heresy and the sundering of the Astartes into the chapters we recognize today, a reorganization was deemed necessary. The Imperium, having glimpsed the precipice of its demise, sought to ensure that no single commander, no single force, would ever again wield the unchecked power that had nearly brought about its downfall. Thus, the Imperial army was bifurcated. The fleets became the domain of the newly formed Imperial Navy. At the same time, the ground forces were restructured, re-equipped, and renamed the Astra Militarum, or as it is commonly known, the Imperial Guard. This restructuring was not merely administrative, it was symbolic. The Astra Militarum was to be an ever-vigilant shield against the Imperium's external and internal foes. Its vastness ensured it could be everywhere simultaneously, a constant, unyielding presence on a million worlds. While maintaining its unique traditions and combat doctrines, each regiment was integrated into a vast, interconnected machine, bound by duty, honor, and unwavering loyalty to the Emperor. Thus, from the fires of rebellion, the Astra Militarum emerged, stronger, more resolute, and more vital than ever before. It embodied the Imperium's resilience. The galaxy, ever tumultuous, presented challenges of a magnitude previously unimagined. The Imperium, having faced the horrors of the Horus Heresy, now confronted myriad threats, both from within its sprawling borders and beyond. The Astra Militarum, in its eternal vigilance, stood at the forefront of these confrontations, a beacon of hope in an age of shadow. Parallel to these external threats, the Imperium grappled with internal challenges, some of which bore eerie echoes of the past. The age of apostasy and the rise of Gogye Vandira saw the Astra Militarum being manipulated for the whims of a madman, yet even in such times, heroes emerged. The Astra Militarum played pivotal roles in both the conflict and its resolution, showcasing that the spirit of the Guard needed to be more easily subdued and corrupted. However, perhaps no event underscores the Astra Militarum's importance and the sheer weight of their responsibility as the 13th Black Crusade and the fall of Cadia. This fortress world, the linchpin in the Cadian Gate, had held back the tides of chaos for millennia. Under relentless assault, the men and women of the Astra Militarum, alongside their brethren from the Adeptus Astartes and the Adeptus Auroritas, mounted a defense that would echo through the ages. Even as Cadia broke, its spirit, embodied by the Astra Militarum, did not. In these later epochs, the Astra Militarum, while ever the stalwart defenders of the Imperium, also evolved. Lessons from countless battlefields, interactions with diverse alien species, and the constant necessity for adaptation meant that the Guard was not a static force, but a living entity, reshaping itself to serve the God Emperor better. To narrate the history of the Astra Militarum is to traverse the vast expanse of human experience, from the depths of despair to the pinnacles of victory. Through every trial and every challenge thrown their way, the Astra Militarum has persisted. Their story is the story of the Imperium itself, a tale of sacrifice, endurance, and the unyielding belief in a brighter tomorrow. The mighty edifice of the Guard, that vast martial arm of the Imperium, isn't just a result of its sheer numbers or the indomitable spirit of its soldiers. At its heart lies an intricate and meticulously devised command structure that ensures the smooth functioning of this colossal force, allowing it to respond to threats with precision and coordination, often across the vast, interstellar distances of the galaxy. From the highest echelons of strategic command to the gritty front lines, every individual has a designated role, and each part is a vital cog in the war machine. At the pinnacle stands the Departamento Militarum, an immense bureaucratic organization within the Adeptus Administratum. This body oversees all aspects of the Astra Militarum, from the levying of regiments from countless imperial worlds to logistics, ensuring that each guardsman has munitions to fire and rations to eat. But beyond mere administration, the Militarum also holds a strategic role, determining where regiments are deployed and ensuring that the grand objectives of the Imperium are met. Descending from the vast bureaucracies, we find the Lord Generals and Lord Solar, individuals of enormous experience and responsibility, commanding entire battlefronts or theaters of war. Theirs is the role of grand strategy, ensuring that the might of the Astra Militarum is directed where it is most needed and that it operates in concert with other imperial organizations, be they fleet assets of the Imperial Navy or the zealous warriors of the Adeptus Astartes. Further below, but by no means lesser, are the generals, followed by colonels, each commanding brigades or individual regiments respectively. These commanders are often drawn from the very worlds their regiments hail from, giving them an intimate connection with the troops under their command. Their duties are vast, maintaining discipline, planning operations, and ensuring that the broader strategies of their superiors are executed flawlessly. And then, we find the command structures more localized, but no less vital layers. Captains and lieutenants leading companies and platoons, the battle-hardened sergeants guiding squads into the thick of combat, and the various specialists, Vox operators, standard bearers and more, each playing their part in ensuring that orders flow smoothly and are executed with precision. Yet alongside this traditional military hierarchy exists a unique facet of the Astra Militarum, the Commissariat. The Commissars, those stern figures in their black greatcoats and peaked caps, serve a dual role. They're both mentors and disciplinarians, ensuring that morale remains high and that the faith in the God Emperor never wavers. While they do not fit neatly into the standard command structure, their influence and importance must be balanced. It's a system that has been refined over millennia, facing countless challenges and adapting to the ever-changing nature of warfare. This structure, combined with the valor of its countless soldiers, allows the Astra Militarum to stand as the bulwark against the Imperium's many foes, a testament to humanity's ability to organize, strategize, and ultimately endure. As we venture deeper into the structure of this behemoth force, it becomes vital to comprehend its order of battle, the specific hierarchical arrangement that delineates how this colossal entity operates and organizes its myriad components. From a macroscopic perspective, the Astra Militarum might seem like an endless tide of humanity, but beneath this tidal wave lies an intricate web of strategy and systemization. Further delineating, a segmentum's forces are broken down into battlefronts or theaters of war, each commanded by generals. These are more focused operational groups oriented towards specific strategic objectives or enemies. One can find multiple armies within each battlefront, each with its distinct composition, character, and command structure. An individual army, vast in its own right, is organized into corps, divisions, and brigades, each layer adding granularity to the vastness of the force. This arrangement allows the Astra Militarum to maintain flexibility, facilitating large-scale strategic maneuvers while still being able to respond to more localized threats. Within these categorizations, we find the individual regiments, the heart and soul of the Astra Militarum. Each regiment, whether Cadian shock troopers, Catachan jungle fighters, or any of the countless others, carries its unique identity, history, and combat doctrine. Yet, irrespective of their world of origin or specific role, they all form the lifeblood of the Imperium's grand military machine. It's crucial to note the sheer variety within these regiments: line infantry, mechanized units, armored divisions, artillery brigades, and even more specialized forces like engineers and siege regiments. This diversity ensures that the Astra Militarum can respond to any threat, in any world, with a precision that belies its overwhelming size. Supporting these troops are vast logistical trains, from quartermasters and medici to the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, ensuring that the machine of war continues unabated. Behind every guardsman on the front line are dozens of others, ensuring they're supplied, supported, and reinforced. Beyond their immense ranks lies a foundational strength, honed through rigorous training and conditioning. In this portion of our lecture, we shall traverse every recruit's arduous journey, transforming them from civilians of the Imperium into the disciplined soldiers of the Astra Militarum. The training of any guard regiment is to understand the vast diversity of the Imperium. With regiments drawn from many worlds, each with unique environments, cultures, and challenges, the training regimen varies significantly. Yet, underlying all these varied approaches is a core set of principles and methodologies that ensures every guardsman is fit for service in the Emperor's armies. Typically, a recruit's journey begins with basic training. Here they are familiarized with the fundamental aspects of military life. From the strict regimen of dawn drills to the grueling physical conditioning sessions, recruits are quickly introduced to the disciplined life of a guardsman. Basic training also involves instruction in marksmanship, with the ubiquitous lasgun being the primary weapon of choice for most regiments. Recruits spend countless hours on the firing range, mastering their aim, learning to maintain their weapons, and becoming one with the tool of their trade. Yet the lasgun is not the only weapon in the guardsman's arsenal. Many undergo specialized training depending on their regiment's traditions and tactical preferences. Some might master the art of operating heavy weapons, while others delve into the intricacies of armored warfare, learning to pilot the mighty Lemon Rust battle tanks or the nimble Sentinel walkers. But weapons and machinery are but a part of a guardsman's training. They must also learn to operate in a variety of environments, from the gas-choked trenches of death worlds to dense untamed jungles, and even the void of space itself. The Astra Militarum operates wherever the Imperium demands. As such, regiments often undergo environment-specific training, preparing them for each battlefield's distinct challenges. Another pivotal aspect of a guardsman's development is learning to operate as a cohesive unit. Squad-based tactics, large-scale maneuvers, and simulated war games are integral to their training regimen. Through these exercises, individual soldiers learn to rely on one another, fostering bonds of trust and camaraderie that will hold them in good stead on the galaxy's bloodiest battlefields. Throughout this journey, the shadow of the commissariat looms large. Commissars are often present during training, ensuring the development of a soldier's physical skills and their unwavering dedication to the God Emperor. Through motivational speeches and, when necessary, stern discipline, commissars ensure that every guardsman is a competent fighter and a loyal servant of the Imperium. It prepares an individual not just for the trials of warfare, but to be a beacon of the Imperium's might, reflecting the glory of the God Emperor in every action. The raw recruits are forged into the Astra Militarum stalwarts through sweat, blood, and commitment, ready to lay down their lives in service to the Imperium. Even as we admire the heroics of its soldiers on the front lines, it is paramount to recognize that there is an almost incomprehensibly complex web of logistics behind each charge, each volley of lasgun fire, and each armored advance. This network ensures that the Astra Militarum, for all its colossal size, remains an agile and effective fighting force. The scale of the Astra Militarum's logistical challenges is staggering. It operates across the vast expanse of the galaxy, often waging wars on multiple fronts simultaneously. Such an endeavor demands not just the movement of troops, but also the transport of munitions, fuel, food, medical supplies, and countless other essentials. In this context, the Departamento Militarum emerges as the unsung hero, the silent force orchestrating this vast dance of supply and demand. Imagine the requirements of a single regiment: the food to feed its soldiers, the ammunition they expend in battle and training, the replacement parts for their weapons and vehicles, uniforms, medical supplies, and so much more. Now, multiply these needs across thousands of regiments, each potentially embroiled in its own theater of war, and the sheer magnitude becomes clearer. One of the most vital components of these logistics is the Imperial Navy. Their fleets of transport ships ensure that regiments are not only deployed where they are most needed, but also that they are resupplied, even in the midst of active conflict. These majestic vessels navigate the treacherous tides of the warp, braving both its inherent dangers and the threats posed by enemies of the Imperium, to ensure that the Astra Militarum remains a force to be reckoned with. Yet the physical movement of goods is but one facet of this logistical marvel. Equally important is the bureaucracy and administration that underpin it. The Departamento Militarum employs countless adepts, scribes, and logisticians who constantly track the needs of the front, adjust for losses, and predict future requirements. Their work, often conducted in vast scriptoriums filled with scrolls, cogitators, and data slates, ensures that every regiment goes smoothly and that any surplus is swiftly redirected where it's needed most. But logistics isn't just about tangible supplies. The Astra Militarum requires a constant influx of new recruits to replenish its ranks. From the levies drawn from countless Imperial worlds to the training facilities where they are molded into guardsmen, ensuring that the Astra Militarum remains ever robust is an endeavor in itself. Here too, the Departamento Militarum shines, coordinating with planetary governors and local officials to ensure that the Imperium's tithe of soldiers is met. In reflection, while the Astra Militarum's battles and victories are sung by minstrels and recorded by historians such as myself, the silent symphony of logistics genuinely enables its might. Without the ceaseless efforts of the Departamento Militarum, the unsung heroes aboard transport vessels, and the meticulous planning of adepts and officials, the Astra Militarum would be but a shadow of its glorious self. For in the end, while it is the soldier who wields the laser gun, it is logistics that ensures it never runs dry. Yet, as it holds the line with las gun and tank, its efficacy is, in no small part, intertwined with its intricate relationships with other arms of the vast Imperial machine. Foremost among these relationships is the bond with the Adeptus Mechanicus. The forge worlds of the Mechanicus are the lifeblood of the Astra Militarum's war machine. From the humble las gun to the thunderous might of the Baneblade, the tech priests of Mars and their ilk provide the tools of war. This relationship is symbiotic. The Mechanicus requires the protection of the Astra Militarum to safeguard its forges, while the Guard relies upon the steady stream of weaponry and vehicles from the forge worlds. The rituals of the machine god might seem arcane to the average guardsman, but there's no denying the reverence felt when a Lehman Russ tank roars to life, or when the blessed artillery rains fury upon the foes of man. Another pivotal connection exists with the Imperial Navy. The galaxy's vastness necessitates that the Astra Militarum be highly mobile, ready to deploy wherever the Emperor's light is threatened. The Imperial Navy facilitates this, their massive transport ships carrying regiments across the stars. The relationship is not just one of passenger and carrier, though. In many theaters of war, the Astra Militarum fights in tandem with the Navy, the latter's void ships providing crucial aerial support and bombardments that complement the ground advances of the Guard. The superhuman Space Marines are the Emperor's wrath incarnate, often spearheading assaults where even the Guard might falter. Yet the Astra Militarum provides the sustained might, the unyielding line that allows these elite warriors to conduct their operations. Together, they form the mailed fist of the Emperor, each essential in their role, from the hammer to the shield. Its ties with other Imperial institutions are vital, a network of mutual reliance that ensures the eternal vigil against the dark is never broken. For in unity, in the combined might of its various arms, the Imperium finds its strength, and the Astra Militarum is a linchpin in this grand alliance. Imagine, if you will, a simple guardsman from a distant agri-world now sent to the far reaches of the galaxy, far from the familiar landscapes of his birth. The starlit skies he looks upon are unfamiliar, the threats he faces incomprehensible in their malevolence. Yet there is one constant, one touchstone that remains unchanged, his unwavering faith in the God Emperor. This belief serves as his shield, a bulwark against the gnawing abyss of fear and despair. Across the various regiments, hailing from worlds as diverse as the frozen tundras of Valhalla to the arid sands of Talan, the manner of worship might differ. Yet the core of that faith remains undiminished. In the heat of battle, the Emperor's name is invoked as a plea for strength, a cry for salvation, or a shout of defiance against the dark. Chaplains and priests of the ecclesiarchy often march alongside these soldiers, their booming voices leading prayers, invocations, and hymns that bolster the spirit of the troops. Sermons are delivered with fervor, and tales of the Emperor's sacrifices and the heroes of yore are recounted to remind every guardsman of the lineage of valor and faith they uphold. It is also worth noting the countless shrines, icons, and relics that adorn the barracks, trenches, and even the mighty tanks of the Astra Militarum. These symbols serve as daily reminders of their holy duty, their sacred oath to protect the Imperium and its divine sovereign. Battle standards, often graced with the visage of the Emperor, flutter high, not just as markers of regiments, but as symbols of divine protection and guidance. Yet the faith of the Astra Militarum is not confined to symbols and sermons. It manifests in moments of profound sacrifice, in the selfless acts of guardsmen who lay down their lives with the Emperor's name on their lips, sure of their place by his side for their service. It's evident in the silent vigils held for fallen comrades, in the quiet moments before the storm of battle, where soldiers, irrespective of their origin or rank, unite in prayer, seeking the Emperor's blessings. As an Imperial historiator, I am privy to countless tales of valor and sacrifice from millennia past to the present age, yet the most poignant of these are invariably intertwined with the unshakable faith of the Astra Militarum in the Emperor. It is a reminder that while their weapons, tactics, and battles vary, their spiritual compass, directed unerringly towards the Golden Throne, remains their greatest strength. In their faith, they find purpose, and in their devotion, they find the strength to endure, fight, and prevail. Such is the profound bond between the Emperor and his soldiers, a bond unbroken, eternal. The Guard holds a unique place, not for the esoteric power of the Psyker, nor the superhuman prowess of the Adeptus Astartes, but for the sheer determination and indomitable spirit of the common man and woman of the Imperium. As we delve deeper into the very essence of the Astra Militarum, it becomes imperative to explore its combat doctrine, the set of principles and tactics that have allowed the Guard to stand firm in the face of overwhelming odds. Their doctrine reflects its greatest strength, numbers. Where other forces might rely on precision or swift strikes, the Astra Militarum's core doctrine is one of overwhelming force. With a seemingly endless supply of manpower drawn from countless worlds, it can muster forces that can drown even the fiercest foes under a relentless tide of lasfire, or crush them beneath the treads of their armored columns. This doctrine is not simply one of brute force, but of layered defense and offense. The infantry, the backbone of any Astra Militarum operation, are often deployed in vast formations. These guardsmen, armed with the ubiquitous las gun, provide a screen, holding the line, absorbing enemy charges, and delivering volleys that can halt even the most determined advance. Behind them, the heavier weapons teams set up their positions, their missile launchers, and heavy bolters, providing the necessary firepower to tackle more substantial threats. Yet for all the valor of the infantry, the true might of the Guard lies in its armored divisions. The Lehman Russ battle tank, a symbol of the Astra Militarum's power, is a versatile war machine, capable of being outfitted for a plethora of combat scenarios. Supported by faster vehicles like the Chimera and heavier behemoths like the Baneblade, these armored units are often used in hammering assaults, breaking through enemy lines and creating openings for the infantry to exploit. Artillery too plays a pivotal role. The thunderous roar of the Basilisk self-propelled gun or the cataclysmic devastation of the Deathstrike missile are not merely weapons, they're statements of intent. Before an engagement, these long-range assets soften up enemy positions, sowing chaos and demoralization. However, it's worth noting that the Astra Militarum's doctrine is not rigid. Given the Imperium's vastness and its varied threats, the Guard has learned to adapt. Different regiments from different worlds bring their unique styles and tactics to the fore. From the desert-savvy Talon raiders to the unyielding infantry blocks of the Cadian shock troops, the Astra Militarum incorporates a myriad of combat doctrines, adjusting its strategy based on the enemy and the theater of war. They understand its role as the anvil of the Imperium, upon which enemies break, but also as the hammer, striking with unyielding force when the moment is right. And as we, the chroniclers of history, look back at its many campaigns, it's evident that this doctrine, forged in the crucible of war, has served the Imperium well, time and time again. Amidst the grand tales of titanic battles and the roars of mighty war machines, there lies a story both quieter and, in many ways, more profound. It is the narrative of the humble guardsman, the very soul of this vast military juggernaut. As we focus our lens upon this singular figure, we find the true embodiment of the Imperium within it. To understand the Astra Militarum is to understand the guardsman, for in every trench dug, in every bayonet charge, and in every lasgun volley, it is the guardsman who stands at the forefront. Drawn from countless worlds across the vast expanse, these men and women come from myriad backgrounds: farmers, artisans, laborers, and even nobles. Yet when they don the flak armor and raise the lasgun, their diverse origins merge into a singular identity, that of a defender of humanity. The life of a guardsman, it must be admitted, is often short and fraught with peril. They face adversaries that by all accounts should overpower them: the hulking menace of the Orc, the ethereal malevolence of the Eldari, the insidious taint of the heretic and the traitor. And yet, time and again, they stand firm. For within the heart of every guardsman lies a potent mix of duty, faith, and commitment to their comrades in arms. Their equipment, by many standards, is basic. The las gun, often mocked by outsiders as a mere flashlight, becomes in the hands of the Guardsman a tool of deliverance. Its glowing beam, seen in the murk of countless battlefields, is a testament to the tenacity of its wielder. The flak armor, while not as resplendent as the power armor of the Astartes, or as intricate as the war gear of the Mechanicus, provides the Guardsman with a shield against the myriad threats they face. It is not the equipment that makes the Guardsman formidable, but the spirit within. Behind the statistics, the casualty reports, and the strategic analyses, there exist countless tales of heroism. The lone Guardsman holding a trench against waves of enemies to buy his comrades time to retreat. The sharpshooter taking a pivotal shot that turns the tide of battle. The sergeant rallying his beleaguered squad for one last charge. These stories, often lost in the grander narrative of war, are the true essence of the Astra Militarum. But beyond the battlefield, the Guardsman is also a symbol. To the citizens of the Imperium, they are a reminder that the Emperor's protection is ever present. To the enemies of mankind, they are a warning that the human spirit will never waver, no matter the odds. It becomes evident that while tanks, artillery, and starships form its formidable body, it is the humble Guardsman who is its beating heart. In their sacrifice and valor, in their undying commitment, we find the purest reflection of the Imperium's soul. And as we, guardians of history, chronicle their deeds, we are reminded of a simple, undeniable truth: that every hero, no matter how unassuming, is the bedrock upon which empires stand. It becomes evident that within its sprawling ranks lies a select cadre of warriors, those who, even among their stalwart peers, stand as exemplars of valor, skill, and might. These are the elite units of the Imperial Guard, and their tales are etched into the annals of the Imperium, not merely as chapters, but as sagas of legendary prowess. The Tempestus Scions, often referred to as the Stormtroopers, are the embodiment of precision and unwavering duty. Trained from a tender age in the Schola Progenium, these soldiers are the answer to challenges that demand surgical strikes. Clad in carapace armor and equipped with the finest hotshot lasguns, they descend from the skies in their Taurox primes, bringing with them the Emperor's wrath to the very heart of the enemy. Then we have the renowned Ogrin Boneheads and Bulgrins, the muscle and might of the Guard. These abhuman giants, blessed with immense physical strength, often serve as the vanguard in many an Astra Militarum assault. While their intellect might be limited, their loyalty to the Imperium is unquestionable. Equipped with Ripper guns, brute shields, and slab shields, they plow through enemy lines, becoming unstoppable juggernauts of devastation. From the world of Catachan comes another breed of elite warriors, the Catachan Jungle Fighters. Born and raised in one of the galaxy's deadliest environments, every Catachan is a survivor and a formidable fighter. They have honed their skills battling the lethal flora and fauna of their homeworld, making them expert guerrilla fighters. Their knives, each a symbol of honor and survival, are as much a part of them as their famed resilience. The Death Corps of Krieg, on the other hand, bring with them an aura of grim determination. Born from the atomic ashes of their homeworld, these soldiers are bred for war and know nothing else. With gas masks concealing their faces and greatcoats flapping in the winds of war, they march relentlessly forward, trenches and artillery their constant companions. Their siege regiments are a sight to behold, a testament to the indomitable spirit of man in the face of overwhelming odds. These elite units, among others, are the sharp edge of the Astra Militarum's blade, the tip of the spear that pierces the heart of the Imperium's foes. They undertake missions that would be deemed impossible by many, and yet time and again they emerge victorious, their banners held high and their oaths to the Emperor unbroken. Each of these regiments, and many more beyond them, paint a vivid picture of the diverse and rich tapestry that is the Astra Militarum. Their histories, filled with tales of sacrifice, valor, and loyalty, serve as a poignant reminder of the price of the Imperium's survival and the indomitable spirit of humanity. As we draw the curtain on this exploration of the Astra Militarum, we must take a moment to reflect on the sheer magnitude of what we've traversed. From its foundational pillars to the countless battlefields it has graced, from the vastness of its organization to the singularity of a humble guardsman's faith, the Astra Militarum stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. It is a chronicle of endurance, sacrifice, and unyielding purpose. In the vast expanse of our Imperium, beset by threats both internal and external, the Astra Militarum is the bulwark that holds the line. Each guardsman, irrespective of their origin, stands as a beacon of hope and a symbol of the Emperor's will made manifest. They are the embodiment of our Imperium's tenets: unity, faith, and perseverance. While the superhuman Space Marines are often lauded in epics, and the mighty fleets of the Imperial Navy dominate the void, it is the Astra Militarum, with its endless ranks of men and women, that forms the bedrock of our defenses. Their stories, often untold in the grand narratives of heroes and primarchs, are no less vital, no less poignant. In their trials and triumphs, we see a reflection of ourselves and the price of the Imperium's continued existence. For in every beat of a guardsman's heart, in every whispered prayer, in every volley of lasgun fire, the story of the Astra Militarum continues to unfold. It is a tale of resilience, a saga that speaks of the best and sometimes the worst of our humanity. Yet through it all, one truth remains unassailable. As long as there is an Astra Militarum, the Imperium shall stand, and the Emperor's light shall never wane. May his grace guide you, and may the tales of the Astra Militarum serve as a reminder of our duty, our legacy, and our undying faith.